Why do we want to kill all the broken people in this country? Why do we want to do that? Why do we crush broken people? Why do we throw broken people away? And then I started realizing that my life is filled with brokenness. All of my clients broken. Communities I work in have been broken by poverty, broken by racism, broken by hopelessness. I'm in a court system that's been broken by cynicism, broken by corruption, broken by wealth, broken, everything around me. And I realized I don't want to do this anymore. I started to have that conversation with yourself that you have to have before you stop doing something. I started saying, well, if you're going to not do this anymore, you got to figure out why you've been doing it. And I started asking myself, well, why have I been doing this? And I realized something I hadn't realized before. I realized that I don't do what I do because I have to do it. I don't do what I do because I can. I don't do what I do because I have some skills and some training. I don't do what I do because somebody just plopped me down and said, do it. I don't do what I do because I think it's important. I don't even do what I do because I get to talk to wonderful people like you. I realized something that night that I'd never realized before. I realized that I do what I do because I'm broken too. And the truth of it is that when you get close to inequality, when you get close to injustice, when you get close to suffering, when you get close to poverty and misery, when you get close to the abuse of power that so corrupts so many things around us, it will break you. It'll create little cuts and scars and bruises and injuries. But I want to tell you that there is a power in that breaking. Because then you realize that you're not doing something for somebody over there. You're not doing something for somebody else. You're not trying to help the less fortunate. You are doing this because you need to be healed. You cannot be at peace in a world where there's the kind of inequality, where there is the kind of injustice, where there's the kind of suffering that we see too often. And then you realize that you don't have any choice. You can't stop because you can't get to freedom. You can't get to wholeness. You can't get to health until you stand up for those who need someone to stand up, until you represent the condemned, until you speak for those who need you to speak for them. It's in brokenness that I've learned some really simple things. I've learned that each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. I believe that. My clients have taught me that. I believe if somebody tells a lie, they're not just a liar. I think if somebody takes something that doesn't belong to them, they're not just a thief. I think even if you kill somebody, you're not just a killer. There is this basic human dignity that must be respected by law. The second thing I've learned being broken is that I've been persuaded that the opposite of poverty is not wealth. I don't believe that. I believe that the opposite of poverty is justice. And we're not going to get to deconstructing poverty, eliminating poverty, until we commit ourselves to a greater degree of justice. And finally, I'm persuaded that you judge the character of a community, the quality of life in a community. I come to Chicago. I love Chicago. It's a beautiful city, but I don't judge it by these beautiful big towers. I don't judge it by a beautiful lakefront. I don't judge it by all the wonderful things I see here. You judge a community. You judge the character of a community, not by how we treat the powerful, the rich, and the privileged. You judge a community by how you treat the poor, the condemned, the incarcerated, the marginalized. And because of that, we've got this great challenge, but also this great opportunity to be a community of professionals and business leaders and lawyers and organizers and activists who stand for justice. And the challenge is recognizing that even when we do uncomfortable things, even when it feels hard, there is something on the other side of that that is transformative, that is absolutely transformative. And it is that spirit of transformation that BPI represents, that all of you represent, and that I celebrate here tonight.